Hi everyone, welcome back. This is episode 5, Dear Future Wife series. Today I wanted to talk about the road to success. The road to success. A lot of times, I don't know if anyone else gets like this. I'm the kind of person who seeks a lot of advice from people, whether it's from friends, mentors, therapists, people I trust, people who have been there. And in a sense, like, it's great. I encourage people to do that. But on the other hand, if you're somewhat of an overthinker like I am, any remote sense of an overthinker like I am, it's not always great. I feel like sometimes, anything too much is bad, obviously. But sometimes when you have too many inputs, too many perspectives, it kind of, like, you get into the state of analysis paralysis, right? And when you're in this state, it's not productive. I think this goes back to a couple episodes ago when I talked about, what to do when you're feeling lost, what to do if you're not in a good space. There's a video interview I saw a couple of days ago of Charlie Munger talking to this college student who asks him, how do I be successful? What do I need to do? How can I follow your footsteps? And I was particularly intrigued by this interview. I don't know, I'm not sure why, but Charlie Munger responds. He says, well, I didn't go around asking people how to get rich. That's all he said. But through interpretation, you can kind of gauge as he just went out and did it. A lot of times I find myself asking a lot of advice and seeing perspectives and opinions on my friends in terms of career, in terms of even personal life things, right? And it was kind of a wake up, maybe I shouldn't be asking so many people for their perspectives. Maybe I should be trusting my gut. Obviously this is not like a black and white kind of advice. It's more so you guys, you should be aware of getting into states where you're just asking people for advice and you're not taking it. And what you really need to be doing is just taking action, trusting your gut, right? The shortcut to success, there is no shortcut to success, right? The easy way is the long way. I think it takes more, I think it is more important to just take action. And I think that's something that I will keep encouraging everyone to do. It's just take action, just do things. Stop thinking so much. I feel like in an age where information is so readily available, everyone has all the information, right? But no one really takes action. It's kind of like, I think it was Naval who said something you shouldn't be afraid to share your ideas, because most likely, 1, the ideas have probably already been thought through. 2, ideas are just ideas, right? What are the chances of people actually stealing your idea? You shouldn't be really afraid, because a lot of people are scared to start. I get like that sometimes. I still am. But I think the key is just starting imperfectly. I talked about this a few episodes ago. But even, these videos I'm posting, like getting 1 view, right? It's starting imperfectly. I think that's the biggest message, and just taking action. Yeah, break down your goals if you can, and just start one step at a time. Kind of fall in love with the process. If you're someone who aspires to be in the gym more, make it fun to go to the gym, right? Just reward yourself for spending time in that environment, not necessarily for, passing like a new PR, right? Just fall in love with being in that environment, whether it's stretching, whether it's walking. Get used to those kind of activities, right? There's another knowledge piece I want to share. Real change, it doesn't start with process change or anything. It starts with identity change. That's exactly how you change. The goal is not to create art. The goal is to become an artist, right? It's almost in a sense like, I don't want to say manifesting, but you have to have the right mental models to really engulf, like, if I'm an artist, what does an artist do? They are creative. How do they get creative? They write down ideas. They do crazy stuff. I don't know, right? Or similarly, like, if I want to be an investment banker, like, okay, what does an investment banker do? They network. They dress like this. They act like that. They talk like this. You want to try to fully embody who you want to be. Personal trainers or people who are ripped, right? What do? They eat well. They eat well. They work out. Like, then you become that in your mind, and it kind of fixates on everything that you do, in terms of picking items at the grocery store, or like having the mentality of like, okay, well, what would a fitness guru, who's someone who's serious about their fitness, like, what would they do after work, right? They would hit the gym. They would take off early. What would an investment banker do after work? They'd spend extra hours, right? And you kind of get into those mental models like, oh, what would they do? What would they do? And you do them. That's probably the easiest way, in my opinion, to really adopt change. They talk a lot about identity change, and I don't know. I would give it a shot, right? For me, it's been more so adopting from a student mindset to someone who's employed. So a couple months ago when I did graduate, I struggled to kind of find myself being productive. And, talking over with my therapist and some other people, it's like my definition of productive changes. I'm not a student anymore. I don't have exams. I don't have projects. It becomes this intermediate period before I start my job. And it's kind of difficult, right, to kind of grasp. But it's kind of rewiring your brain to be like, okay, well, maybe I don't need to get certifications. Maybe this is a time that I need to spend with my friends, because it's going to be harder to see them next. And it has to deal with constant reprioritizing too. And that's okay. Don't be afraid to kind of reprioritize, what you want. And don't be afraid to, don't beat yourself up if you end up not changing. I think a lot of times I have a friend who, he wants the world. He really is like he says he wants everything in terms of, his career. He wants to excel. He wants to do X, Y, and Z, but part of him can't find himself to kind of truly embody what he wants. And he beats himself up for it. But I tell him every single time, I'm like, how bad do you really want it? Like, there's part of you that is happy where you are right now. And he has a girlfriend, and she has a great family, and he's rich in other ways and successful in other ways that some people aren't, like myself. But he fails to see like that, you have to know when to give yourself grace and when to push yourself harder. And I think that just comes with intuition. But I think it was not a quote, it was some video I saw about Andrew Tate talking about, if you really want it bad, you're gonna get it. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And I truly believe that, right? Of all the advice that he has and how funny he is, there's some things that he says that I genuinely believe are true. Some things just boil down to how bad you want it. And if you don't really want it that bad, well, that's where you need to reflect and really have an honest conversation with yourself and be like, do I really want this goal, or do I just like the idea of it? Because if you like the idea of it, you're not going to sacrifice what you need to get it, right? So then you're stuck in this state of like, oh, I want more. But if you're not willing to give yourself for more, to make room for that more, and you beat yourself up for it, it's not good. It's counterproductive, right? Better to accept like, oh, I don't really want that. Maybe I want something else, right? I feel like that in itself is a more productive conversation to have with yourself, and a realignment of your goals. Like, maybe my goal isn't to become an investment banker. Maybe my goal is to become an artist. But the sooner I can accept that in my heart, the sooner I can become more successful and realign myself with what I truly want. But it starts with an honest conversation. It's much easier to shoot a gun when you have a target. But if you're shooting at the wrong target, you're gonna miss. You're gonna miss the right one, the one that you really want. But yeah, I'm just rambling at this point. Sometimes in a relation with love, it feels like my person isn't out there. I'll connect these two in a second. And then other times I know is like, it's just a matter of time, right? There's two sides in which I see it is, my person's out there, it's only a matter of time. The other one is, well, I should go on a ton of dates and try to meet the right person. As of right now, I'm taking the initial approach. Truly working on myself, being better, talking about these things, maybe helping you guys feel a little less lonely and alone in the world. So I'll end the video. Dear future wife, happy Monday. Hope you're doing well. You have to believe that it's worth it, that the time that the effort that you put in to what your goal is, in my case, finding my future wife, the effort and the work I'm putting in right now is gonna help me find her. Yeah. And sometimes, the easiest way is the long way. Maybe I have to create these video series. Maybe she'll one day watch them. I don't know, right? Yeah. Yeah, so get out of your heads, get off my video, and go make things done. Go create great things. Go be productive. Start small. Start imperfectly. Oftentimes the things that we do, sometimes you just got to do it. You don't have to do it perfectly. And as a overthinker, perhaps, a fellow overthinker, you just got to get out of your head. You just got to do it. You got to make stuff happen. Now is the time to do so. There's a Chinese proverb, I don't know how to say it in Mandarin, but the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. And the second best time is now. So you're never too late to get started on anything, no matter how old you are. So get up, write it down, right? Prioritize it, and embody what kind of person you want to be. Think about how they would act, and go out there and make your dreams come true. Bye, guys.